welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about the movie Significant Other, because what the heck did I just watch? Grab your little drinky drink. I have Topo Chico mango sparkling water. I love this. So the movie opens up with this thing that looks like a shooting star, something that's falling from the sky. Then after that, we see the shot of a deer, and the deer is getting pretty much attacked by something that looks like an alien arm, okay? And we get introduced to our main characters, Ruth and Harry. They are heading to go to a hiking trail, and Ruth looks a little bit nervous. By the way, this is the same actress from Longlegs, okay? This actress is, I absolutely love her face expressions. She gives us Disturbed Girl really good. So Ruth and Harry are on the way to this hiking trail. They are driving together. She looks a little bit like, a little bit nervous about hiking. He seems to be like an expert at hiking. And he's talking to her and telling her like, hey, it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be great. And she just seems a little bit nervous. So they stop to grab a bite before they get to the trail, and they're eating, and then this creepy young kid comes out and he's about to take their plates, and they're like, wait a minute, we're not done eating our food. Why are you trying to take our plates? But anyways, they think nothing of it. And then the little kid like says something weird, like, oh, you know, the night, something, he says something weird that is just like, but they go, probably just a little disturbed kid. Let's move on with our life. So they get back in the car and then they head to the trail. Once they arrive, they are walking, and then they start setting up camp. Ruth starts setting up the tent, but has a little trouble with it. And Harry is getting the food area set up, making the fire and all of that. And then he helps her get that together. And then they kind of have like a little bit of a moment. You can just see their dynamic. You can see that Ruth, from the movie, you can see that Ruth is a little bit anxious about this entire hiking thing. He's like, honey, I've done this before, trust me, let me lead. And she's like, they head out to continue their trail. Then they end up on this beautiful hill. Harry starts giving a speech about how amazing Ruth is and how in love with her he is, and how this has been the best time of his life, and you know that he's about to propose. But Ruth is looking anxious. She's not having it. She's about to have a panic attack, and we are all just there. As a watcher, you are just like, you feel nervous for him. You're just like, what is happening? So the marriage proposal was so intense for her that she almost passes out and almost falls down the cliff, except Harry catches her and she relaxes. She pops a pill and she tries to call her therapist. Her therapist doesn't answer. And Ruth explains to Harry like, hey, you know, we talked about not getting married. That's not something that I'm sure I want to do. And he's like, oh, we're not going to be like your parents. I know that's the reason you don't want to, but like, let's leave things off as they are right now and continue this conversation later. He's a little bit upset. He's just kind of not happy, and she's just, it's cold. It got awkward, okay? It got awkward. So they go to sleep. Wakes up in the morning and she sees that he's not in the tent, and she finds this note that he left her saying like, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk. I've had to clear my head. I will be back. Then Ruth is like, okay, well, she walks around and then she finds this deer, the same deer from earlier, and it's covered in this disgusting goop. And Harry appears, and Harry goes, oh, well, you know, that's okay. What is it? They look in a book. He has a book that has all of the information about nature, and he finds an example and tries to explain what happened to the deer. Is just, oh, here's the explanation. That's what it is. And they just move on with their life. So then Ruth walks away, and she's like, okay, I just want to find an area to use the bathroom. And she walks away, and she goes into this area where she sees these little like glowing blue slimy things, and she walks towards the cave. At first I was like, oh girl, a cave, let's not do that. But if I see glowy shiny things on the floor, I might go in there too, okay? So she follows it, and then she goes in there, and then she's like poking it with a stick. I will so do that. That's something I would do. Poke it with a stick, see what happens. Especially if it's blue and slimy. She pokes it with a stick and she's looking. And from there, something comes at her and we don't know what it is. And then bam, they move on to the next scene. So Harry, from Harry's POV, he's looking for Ruth. And he's like, where is she, right? And then he finds her standing in a corner in the woods, just standing there. And he walks towards her and he's calling her and she's not moving. And he gets to her and he's like, hey, I've been like, you okay? I've been looking for you. You've been gone for a while. And she's like, oh, you know, just nothing. And then they're hanging out together. They kind of get back together, but the vibes are off. The vibes are off with both of them. The vibes are off. And Ruth's acting really weird, but it could just be, you know, her anxiety from the proposal. It could be a lot of things. It could be the anxiety from everything from the deer over there being all gooey, or it can be from these woods, or it could be from the proposal, or it could be from almost diving to your death, just being shocked by something that you didn't want. And she's like, hey, you know, I've really been giving thought to this whole marriage thing, and you know, I'm kind of for it. We should get married. She's like, you know what, let's redo the entire proposal, like let's do the entire thing again. And he's like, Harry's like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, he's like, wow, I'm excited. So they go back to that beautiful hill. He proposed to her the first time. They go back there, and she's like, I want you to get on your knees again. Like, let's do this again. He gets on his knees and he's ready to propose again. And she pushes him off the cliff. She pushes him off the cliff. And we are just like, I mean, girl, we did not have to take it that far. So after she pushes him off the cliff and we're all shocked, she starts running. She is running. And she falls and hits her head, and she's laying down. 2 other hikers run into her. They find her, Ray and Vivian. Ray and Vivian are really nice, and they start helping her and trying to get her back on her feet. And they're at the campsite, and all she can look at is their knife that they have there. And you just don't understand as the audience. You are like, what is going on with this girl? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Harry reappears. And you're like, how is he alive? And Harry pops like this long nail blade comes out of his finger, and he kills both Ray and Vivian. He takes them out. So Harry gets rid of the other 2 hikers, and then he comes after Ruth, and he's like, hey girl, why did you do that? And so he's an alien now. So he's like, how did you know? How did you know? How did you know it wasn't me? How? They jump back to the scene where Ruth was in the cave and she was poking the blue liquid, and she had turned back. The real Harry was already with his head sliced off. He was hanging in a cocoon in the wall in that cave. So this is why Ruth, when she saw that, when she was in the cave with the little blue liquid and she saw that, she was shocked. And that's how she knew that that wasn't her real Harry. So, I mean, talk about this girl. Talk about taking action really quickly, and talk about being able to control yourself. Because when she realized that Harry was already dead in a cocoon inside a cave, and then she goes outside and Harry is looking for her, she decided to act normal, breathe, and come up with a plan. And let's talk about execution, and let's talk about how she was able to remain calm throughout that entire thing. That was just like, I give it to her, because she remained calm under pressure. So Harry is pretty much an alien now. That same alien that took out the deer, that same thing that came from the sky, that took over Harry's body. I guess these aliens suck the stuff out of the human, but then become the human. So he's like, hey, I am Harry, the new version. I am an alien, but I also have all the feelings that Harry had for you, so I can't really get rid of you. I love you. So he starts following her around. She's running for her life. She's fighting. But he's like, oh, I can't pop you because I am in love with you. I still have the same feelings as an alien that the human Harry had. And she's running for her life. She's fighting it. They end up on this beach, and he's like, hey, there's this giant weird looking spaceship on the beach. And he's like, hey, look, I have to be honest with you. The aliens are coming. The aliens, Mars attack, okay? It's Mars attack, and they're coming, and this is my spaceship. I really like you, and I want to take you with me. I don't want to hurt you. I want you to become part alien. Like, let's do this thing. Let's lock it down. And she's like, okay, let's do it. But then she takes his knife and she stabs him, and she runs to the water. And previously they had talked about, the 2 hikers, I think, had talked about how there's like a lot of sharks in the water, so they don't surf anymore. So she runs to the water, and the alien Harry follows after her. And then the sharks come, and boom, they grab her, and she gets out of the water, and she runs for it. She runs. And she's like, she stops at the area where the other hikers, Vivian and Ray, where they were at, and she like snacks on a salami. And I'm like, girl, it's not the time to be snacking on a salami. We gotta go. She snacks on a salami, and this blue thing comes from the back and attacks her. That's pretty much Harry's alien part. So then she wakes up, and she is in the cave where Harry was at. Original Harry's still in a cocoon. She's in a blue cocoon, and the aliens got her, and the alien is sucking all her juice out, and the alien is pretty much becoming her. And she's like, hey, it's cool, like, if you're going to be a human, that's cool, but you're going to feel all the pain that I feel. So the alien is becoming her, but she's explaining that just because you become the human version of Ruth doesn't mean that you won't feel all the pain that she feels. Ruth is able to fight out of the cocoon, and she's able to continue torturing the alien and pretty much telling the alien like, hey, as a human, you have to feel what a human feels. And Ruth's past and all the things that she's been through is really affecting the alien, because the alien is not ready for all those negative emotions. And the alien gets a little weak, and Ruth, uses the opportunity to beat the alien's head with a rock. And she's making her escape. I give it up to her. I give it up to her for having a plan and just thinking on the spot. And she runs and she runs and she runs. And she gets in the car and she's driving away. And we are all rooting for her. We are all rooting for her, because we are like, oh my God, this whole time we thought that you were the villain. We thought that you were just a girl that had enough. But no, she was a victim, and she was just thinking, she saw something and she had to be calm and think strategically. Anyway, she's driving her car and she's driving away, and we're all like, yeah, she got away. And then she turns on the radio, and through the radio, the alien's voice comes in, and the alien's like, you can't really get away from me. You can't run. You can't run from yourself. That was deep. And then right there, we get a scene, and we see all these red stars coming from the sky, aka the aliens are coming. Mars Attack is here, and bam, the movie ends right there. So, woof. What can I say? I feel like I really judged Ruth from the beginning. I was just thinking that she was just a mess, and she wasn't. She was going through a lot, but she was very smart. She was thinking strategically. She wasn't emotional. She wasn't like, oh, that's Harry in a cocoon, but there's another Harry, let me confront him. She was like, no, I have to keep calm and collected and come up with a plan. And I admire her for that. I admire her for being a strategic thinker and not being emotional. Okay, I really admire her for that. Now, these aliens are on another level. I didn't like that the aliens kept coming back and there was no way of getting rid of them. That was really, really scary, because from the moment that he kept coming back, you just felt like, okay, well, we're doomed. Like, we're doomed. I hate when there are monsters in movies that there's no way out. But even if she survived him, the aliens were coming. And I just hope that if you do see blue goop or any type of goop that's shiny, you definitely go follow it and go into a cave, because you never know, that might keep you alive. And that's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.